Okay, so how this works is we are going to take a single playing card, in this case the 3 of spades, okay? We can take the 3 of spades, drop it off somewhere into the middle, and with a snap of the fingers, you can see that the 3 of spades has actually come back to the top. Sometimes the simplest and easiest of fidget moves can be the most satisfying to do, and that is definitely the case for what we're gonna learn today.
Let's go.
What's up everybody, Kier here and welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode, I'm gonna be teaching you guys a nice little convincer for your double lift, a little subtlety that you can do to convince your spectator that your double lift is actually just 1 card. This is something that's pretty easy to do, but I am gonna cover kind of like a little routine that I do or that I use it for. It's definitely something that is fun, it's convincing, and I don't know, it's just satisfying to do. It's something that I thought was worth teaching. So if you guys are ready to learn this little flourish, this little move, then you know, go ahead and drop a like on the video. All right, we're gonna keep it short. Let's get into it. Okay, so for today's tutorial, we are gonna be using the new James Coffee Co. playing cards. These are a James Coffee Co. deck in collaboration with Art of Play, who produced them. So really love these cards. If you guys wanna check out kind of my initial reaction to these, click here or here. I don't remember where, but click somewhere and you can see that. Okay, now this move is pretty simple at its core, but it's basically just a really good convincer for kind of passing off a double lift as a single card, which I guess is the whole point of a double lift. Now, in order to do this, it's mostly a wrist thing, but the cards do help a little bit. So I would recommend, you know, if you want to do this as effective as possible, use a deck of cards that has a little bit of a bevel in it, which basically is the cards being bent one way. So you can see that they're not perfectly straight. Now, the best way to get your cards to do that is to do some pressure moves. So if you can do under pressure or a card spring, that's gonna kind of bend the cards to be facing one way or leaning one way. And that's gonna create a little bit of a pivot point there in the middle for you to do the move. So what are we really doing when we're doing this move? If I take the cards away, first of all, you're gonna be holding them in dealer's grip like this, okay? Which is really good because this is a natural way that any magician or anybody that's used to holding a deck of cards is gonna hold them. But if I take the cards away, we're holding our hand like this and we're really just moving our wrist in this motion here. And we're gonna have kind of an abrupt stop. We're not gonna go like that. We're gonna kind of like that, just stop it and straighten out our hand at the right point. You're really doing a couple things at once. You should start by practicing this with just a single card. It's actually not as easy with a single card, but there's less risk involved because you don't have to worry about your double splitting in the middle of it. But what we're doing is we're turning over a card, we're cocking our wrist back towards us, and then we're kind of shooting it out like that. And once we get to the right point, which I would say is that angle, whatever that is, we're straightening out our hands and moving our thumb out of the way so that the card can spin on top of the deck. So if we do it with just a single card, we're gonna turn it over, motion our wrist back, let go, let it spin, and then we can do whatever we were gonna do. Now again, we'll take the cards away and the motion is cock the wrist back, and then at the same time, we're gonna shoot out and straighten our hand, which is gonna allow the cards to move out of the way and the card can spin without being caught on your thumb. You'll notice that if you don't straighten out your hand, the card doesn't move. It gets caught on the thumb and you can't do anything. Now, when it comes to doing this with a double lift, it's very simple and it's the same exact idea. But first you're gonna do your double, whichever one you prefer. I like the strike double, especially for moves like this, because we want it to look natural, right? We kind of want it to be its own move that's kind of built in to the effect. So we're gonna turn over the card. If I do a strike double, it's already flush. Our double lift is completely concealed. There's no split. We can do the spin, stop it wherever, and then we can continue. I would recommend making sure that your double lift is clean from the beginning, because if the cards are split even in the slightest, they will split when it starts spinning. The only way to keep them together is if they're completely flush from the beginning. So for the strike double, I won't get too much into it, but basically what you're doing is you're pushing over, it's similar to a push-off double, but you're pushing over the cards so that they're kind of at this angle, and that's gonna allow you to get your index finger in there and kind of just peel 2 cards off, turn them over as one, and now you're already in position to do the move. You can see the cards or card is completely flush with the top of the deck, and you're ready to cock your wrist back, let the cards flow, and then you can kind of just put some pressure on the top corner It's gonna pop up your double lift so you can turn it over nice and simple. And then I always do this, I go into Silver Surfer, which looks like that. You can push it in, do whatever, and then of course your card is back on top. So let's walk through this one more time. In order to do like the full routine, you can have the spectator cut the cards if you want, or you can have them shuffle and then hand the cards back to you. So now basically what you're gonna do is say, okay, let's see what card you cut to. You're gonna do your double lift. You can say, okay, you selected the 3 of clubs. How crazy, that's my favorite card. Believe it or not, that actually is my favorite card. Then you can do your kind of rotation convincer. So you're gonna cock it this way, let it spin, and then you wanna catch it again when it's flush with the deck. You don't want it to stop spinning when it's like halfway like that, because it just looks weird, and then you have to worry about how you handle your double. So you're gonna let your double lift just kind of spin, and you're gonna stop it before it goes sideways. So you wanna make sure it's flush, okay? Then you just, with your thumb, put some pressure. You can get under there, make sure you don't split your cards like that. Turn over your double, and then you can either just drop off the card in the middle, or like I said, you can do a nice little extra flourish like Silver Surfer, and then you can produce it. Now when you produce the card, you can do whatever you want. You can do something like Cyclone by Chris Ramsey, if you want to get fancy and you can show their card has been produced. You can do something like the Top Shot, or you can just show the card. It's really up to you. So again, we're gonna make sure we got that bevel in the cards. You can do that however you want. Strike double, spin, make sure you don't split the cards, turn it over, drop off your decoy in the middle, or do whatever you want, and then your card is back. And that is the secret to my favorite double lift convincer of all time. Well guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoy that little flourish, that little spinning card, spinning double move. I really like the spinning double. I think it's something that looks good, it feels good. When you pull it off, you kind of feel a little bit clever, a little bit cheeky, as my friends from across the pond would say. Either way, it's just something fun to kind of experiment with. You can work it into your other routines or other flourishes. It definitely stands out as its own kind of thing within your Magic performance. So of course, as always, make it your own, but keep it fun, and hopefully this tutorial helped. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video or got anything from this tutorial, please let me know by dropping a big fat thumbs up on the video. And of course, I hope you'll consider subscribing for more awesome content just like this. All right, guys, I promised I would keep it brief, and I aim to please. So everybody have a great day, stay safe. It's a crazy world out there. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.